25 minutes before 10 o'clock. It is time for Horse Sense, and we're going to find out what's going on in the world of horses today. A big event today and tomorrow, I believe, the Breeders' Cup, I think, if I'm in my unknowledgeable knowledge. Tammy Gantt is here to educate us about horses and the Breeders' Cup. And good morning, Tammy. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm here with Horse Sense for the Equine Alliance today, and I think all the other folks might be getting all their picks for the Breeders' Cup today and tomorrow. I think the post time is at 1:15 today, and so people probably headed over getting their last-minute picks for the races for today and tomorrow. It's the world's biggest days of international racing, and it's called the National Thoroughbred Championship. So very exciting.
And did you say you had a horse that was going to be in it or was going?
Well, there's a few horses from Florida actually that are going, which is really exciting. And actually, Florida took the championship last year, winning the Breeders' Cup Classic with a horse named Mucho Macho Man.
Mucho Macho Man.
Mucho Macho Man. He was a Florida bred, and he actually won NTRA's Moment of the Year last year, which was picked by all the fans in America because of his just thrilling finish, where he literally won by a hair of a nose. It was the closest race. It almost looked like a dead heat.
Wow.
And it was very exciting because actually the party that I was at for it last year was at the Hilton, and the mayor was there and quite a few celebrities. And so it was very exciting to see people before the race, had some horses they were cheering for, but during and at the end, everybody was cheering for Mucho Macho Man.
Oh, wow.
And so it was really exciting. And so in the last 4 years, we have won 5 Breeders' Cup races with Florida breds. So pretty exciting.
Wow, very cool. So it's on TV? Or?
It's on TV, yeah. You can watch it. It's on NBC. It's going to be lots of coverage, and also on HRTV for those in this area that get the Horse Racing TV network. But there's lots of coverage. You can watch it, most of the races, and if not, you can go to some of the local places. They've got them in some of the local restaurants, like Roma will have it. Obviously, the Hilton, OBS, Ocala Breeders Sales by their racetrack. Where you can actually bet there, or the Highlight, too. So there's a few places you can watch, a few places you can bet. They have streaming online if for some reason you need to be at your business or your farm and you want to kind of peek at the races this afternoon while you're still at work. So
can I ask you about the betting and the money? Does the horse owner make money when somebody bets on the horse?
The horse owner doesn't directly make money from betting on the horse. How they make money is when the horse wins, they get what's called a purse. The reason it's called a purse is they used to carry the money back in the 1800s in a little silk purse, and that's what they would hand them, the winnings. And so they get the money from actually winning the race or finishing a certain position. They'll get paid. The money that people bet, actually a portion of that is like a transaction fee, what they call a takeout, that goes to the racetrack. And then that racetrack, some of that money then also ends up in the hands of breeders and owners in Breeders and Owners Awards. So it helps the people that actually took the time to breed the horse, and then the people that own it also. So there's a combination of things of where the betting money goes, and then majority of the money goes back to the bettors, because it's called pari-mutuel wagering, which means instead of the house taking the money, most of the money goes back into the hands of the bettors. It's called pari-mutuel, means betting among yourselves. So if I win some money at the racetrack, I might have taken it from you if you lost that same race.
Gotcha. And so it costs nothing to go to a race, right? Or does it cost something?
Typically, there are most tracks that you can go. They have complimentary areas, so you can go and there's no admission. Big days like this, there probably is a fee. Usually, on big event days, definitely at the Breeders' Cup. In fact, next year the Breeders' Cup will be in Keeneland. This year it's in Santa Anita in California.
Where's Keeneland?
Keeneland is located in Lexington, Kentucky. Okay. And so they have seating right now that they're building, chalets as they call them, and it's $1,250 per seat. But it's all inclusive. So you can see where people can get in, say at the Derby for $40, all the way up into thousands and thousands of dollars. So there's a wide range, and it's great because people that just kind of want to go, that just have a little casual interest, they can pay $40. Like, for example, at the Kentucky Derby. Here, the racetracks at Gulfstream Park in South Florida and Tampa, you can get in. Typically, admissions is a couple bucks, maybe a little more on big race days, and then there's actually seating and dining room that costs a little more, but pretty reasonable compared to having to go to a major event.
So I'm going to use what I know and ask, and just so that you can tell me what you know. Okay, what I know is that in the world of music, there are some people who make a lot of money at it. And there are a lot of people who make a little bit of money at it. Okay, so and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Like in the horse racing, it seems like the impression that we, the public, have is that horse breeders make money from the horse races. In the music world, you're really not making money because you're a hit recording artist. You're making money probably because you're playing in a bar, or maybe you're selling a few CDs in the back of your trunk or something like that.
Yeah, I think that breeders make money in a different way. Some breeders don't breed horses to race. Some breed them to actually take them to the racetrack, and some breeders breed them for the sales. Because in Florida here, we have the fortunateness of having the Ocala Breeders Sales, which handles $93 million in revenue each year from selling horses here, and there's 6 sales a year. They have the top 2-year-old in training sales in March and April. So what happens is there's an opportunity to put your horse into the marketplace or to raise your horse and race your horse. So breeders can earn money a couple different ways. It's actually very risky to be a breeder because you don't know if your mare's going to catch and go into foal. You don't know if your foal's going to come out the way you would, like. But those are the different things and factors that we consider. So there's money to be made for selling the horse or racing the horse. And then also if the horse transfers hands and they were the breeder, then if the horse races, they have opportunities to win breeders' awards.
So it's more likely that you could make good money as a horse breeder than like in show business.
I don't really know if I can make a correlation with the industries,
not
but
really
I think what is true in a lot of industries is that you have majority of the people are mom and pop, small breeders with just a few mares and doing it as a sideline or doing it as a job, but not really huge. And I think that's typical in any industry where you have a majority of people that are doing something they really enjoy and love. And making a living at it.
I think everybody who comes in for this show loves what you do. I love that. I love being with people who love what they do. And I love getting to know what they do, which is what you've allowed us to be part of. You have a phone call.
Okay.
By the way, phone calls are a part of this show. If you want to call in, Tammy is here to answer your questions or just to chat with you if you just want to talk. Tammy Gantt is who is here. 622-9622 is the number. Good morning. Thank you for calling and for waiting.
Yes, I just wanted to find out about the California racing and like the Triple Crown or the biggest race of the month or the year. I just want to know about the Ocala's horses we have. Those in those races.
Very, very good question. Actually, you asked these several components. One is, I think it depends on the person you ask as to what's the largest horse race in the world or the biggest. The most legendary that everyone wants to win is the Kentucky Derby. And every year when there's the Kentucky Derby, there are a number of Florida horses that go up there that are Florida breds, but also horses that were trained here in Ocala. We have about 15,000 horses a year that train in Ocala because of the warm climate and the wonderful grass that we have in the water. And so what happens is then those horses end up competitive all over the country and do race in the Kentucky Derby. As far as the Triple Crown, there are horses from Florida that compete in both the Derby, the Preakness, and then the third leg, which is the Belmont, which makes up the Triple Crown. This year, however, there was a horse named California Chrome from California that won the first 2 legs of the Triple Crown, which was a big deal for California because California hadn't had a winner in that regard. So that was pretty exciting. As far as here, what we have in California going on is that today and tomorrow is the Breeders' Cup, and it's all those big races. We have 6 horses from Florida that are Florida breds competing, and there's different ones. There's one named Calculator who's been out in California for a while that looks very good. There's also a horse named Paranda. We also have Bahamian Squall. So there's quite a few Florida horses, and how you can tell is if you look at any program, you'll see an FL designation by the horse's name, which means that he was born in Florida. So very, very good questions, and probably more than I can cover on this show. But if you pick up the local paper or you pick up the Wire to Wire on newsstands in town that's in Marion County area, then that'll give you a lot of information. In fact, the Wire to Wire has 8 pages of Breeders' Cup coverage from yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
How about Portugal, Spain, any of those foreign places, do they compete against in that kind of race with our Florida horses?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your question, but yes, the Florida horses will compete in the major races. There isn't one in the Classic this year, and like I mentioned earlier, Macho Man, who's a Florida bred, did win the Classic last year, but we don't have a Florida bred in the Classic this year. But if you look at the races today and tomorrow, there are a number of horses that are Florida breds, but also horses that were trained in Florida and also raced at Florida racetracks. Gulfstream has 6 or 7 that came up from South Florida that started there, Tampa also, and then there were 18 horses that were sold here in Ocala at the Ocala Breeders' Sales that are in the Breeders' Cup. So there's a lot of connections throughout the program that just really shows what a powerhouse Florida is in not only breeding and racing thoroughbreds, but as a wonderful training and sales place for the thoroughbreds that are world class. Very good questions. Thank you for calling.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing how international it actually is.
Oh, yeah. For the sales, there's 26 countries that come out just for the spring sales, and we have 42 states. So even I think they had a buyer from Alaska last year. So it is a very international type thing. And this is a world stage for people to see these horses coming from international. We have horses from Argentina that have come up. Chile has a nice contender. There's also horses from Europe that compete very well in what they call the turf races, which are the grass races.
Yeah.
So lots of them, yeah.
Which is why Ocala has an international airport, right? That's so we can...
The amazing thing is we have an international airport. It exists for a few reasons, for those buyers to fly their planes in and see all those Gulfstreams. Right. That, and then we also have where the Tex Sutton loads up the horses and they go out. In fact, speaking of the airport, and I know we've got a caller, but speaking of the airport, we actually had a horse that didn't want to board the plane and go to the Breeders' Cup, so he scratched. The horse's name is Free as a Bird, which is kind of ironic. Free as a Bird did not get on his plane, and they tried everything to get this horse on the plane. Unfortunately, his trainer was very disappointed, a trainer that is based out of Tampa, and the horse didn't get on the plane. So then the same plane that was in the air, and the windshield got cracked. And this had a number of Breeders' Cup contenders, including Bahamian Squall, which was bred at Double Diamond Farm here in Ocala. So they end up landing and staying an extra day in Lexington. So some of these horses ended up landing a day later than they would have liked in California.
Wow.
But it's interesting to say Free as a Bird just didn't want to get on that plane. So
wow.
You never know how the horses don't sometimes make it where they need to be.
And you do have a phone call. Let's take that call. And everybody's invited to call Tammy right now, 622-9622. Good morning. You're on the air with Tammy.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
If you're looking to buy a horse for a pet, where would you go? How would you seek that out?
That's a very good question. One of the things that I would say first is you want to do your research, because one of the key things is just like being any type of a pet owner, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with owning a horse that's a little different than a dog or a cat as a pet. And so one of the things you'd want to do is do some research to find out what type of horse would be best for your family, just like you would do with any other pet. Once you determine, you say, okay, I have small children, I need this type of breed, or I have somebody that wants to ride, so I need this type of horse. Then what you can do is there's a lot of resources. In fact, if you come by our offices, there's a book called the Farm and Service Directory that you can pick up that has a number of farms in Central Florida of all breeds, and that can guide you so you can learn about some of the different breeds and farms and see what they have. And there are a number of places that you can find horses for sale. There's also wonderful horse programs here that rescue horses, but also place horses after retirement from other events. And so there's a number of those that are listed in this directory, and it's great because you could find a horse maybe that was a riding horse, but he isn't any longer, but he'd make a wonderful horse to be out in your front yard to give carrots to and pet. So I would start first, your number one thing is to see what type of horse, and there's books at the library about different breeds of horses, just like dogs dogs, they have different temperaments. Some horses are very calm and quiet. Other ones have more energy and need more attention. And so you find a horse that kind of matches your family's lifestyle. And then from there, then you can start to seek out people that breed those types of horses. And you can find horses, that weren't show champions for very affordable prices. And then you can find horses, if you want that horse that was a former champion, upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars if you want to do that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Very great, very, very good question. Thank you for calling in, and I hope to one day be on a riding trail and see you with your new horse.
Okay, sounds good.
That does sound good. Yeah, it is a very attractive thing to do, even if you're just like me, just the guy who would probably, pay for a trail ride or something.
Well, what's interesting, actually, Mine That Bird, which was the Kentucky Derby winner in 2009. He's now a trail riding horse in New Mexico, and he was a Kentucky Derby winning thoroughbred. Wow. Thoroughbreds are very versatile, so this gentleman that called could end up with a retired thoroughbred. Maybe the horse was very fast on the track, maybe the horse wasn't, but what a wonderful story to have a horse in your backyard to say that he ran in the races. It's a wonderful thing.
We have to take a little break, and today the Breeders' Cup coming on NBC this afternoon at 1?
It's going to be at 1:15 p.m., and let me see if I can get the complete schedule when we come back from break.
How long is the race?
There's a number of races. I believe there's 12 races today, 12 races tomorrow. 10
which is why they have a whole show.
Yeah, it's 20 races total. Yeah,
and then
2 days
typically,
worth.
2 minutes, 3 minutes? How long is the race?
Depends on the length of the race, but some of them will be about 2 minutes, and some of them will be a bit longer. But it'll start at 1:15 today and end about 7 p.m., and tomorrow it's going to start about the same, and because it's California time, it'll be about 8:35 our time.
So 3 minutes would be a long race.
Yeah, but that's showing pomp and circumstance before and during and after.
Right.
So you look about 5 minutes that you can really amazing? Just say, wow, let me get into this.
That's amazing. All right, we will take a little break and we'll be right back. By the way, the phone line is open if you want to call Tammy during the rest of this time. 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be mostly sunny today with highs ranging from the mid-70s to the low 80s across the area. Tonight, mainly clear, lows in the upper 40s, while inland mid-50s along the coast. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy, and noticeably cooler, the highs in the 60s. For Sunday, mostly sunny and chilly with a high of 65 to 70. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Insurance, payroll, taxes, workers' comp? How am I expected to keep up with this?
APB.
Very funny.
No, APB is American Payroll and Benefits with over 30 years experience. Count on APB to save real time and money on workers' comp and payroll costs, filing taxes, all that frustrating and time-consuming employee paperwork.
Thanks, tall, dark, and smart.
Call APB today at 352-624-1999. Welcome to Infinite Natural Day Spa. We offer massage, facial, waxing, and hydrotherapy with body scrub. Infinite Natural Day Spa will bring you to an unparalleled all-natural experience of beautification, peace, and comfort that is uniquely yours. We hope to transport you to a place where you can truly appreciate a newly found state of relaxation.
Southeast AgNet invites you to listen to our daily agricultural news on WOCA. Florida Ag News airs at 10:02 a.m., Farm and Ranch headlines at 11:02, and This Land of Ours at 12:02 p.m. And for more information about a story you may have heard on Southeast AgNet, or if you missed a report, visit our website at southeastagnet.com. Keep up with the latest in agricultural news every Monday through Friday right here on WOCA and on southeastagnet.com. Southeast AgNet, serving agriculture across the deep Southeast.
Did you know that Marion County is known as the horse capital of the world? Did you know that Florida is one of the top thoroughbred horse markets in North America? Thoroughbred horses annually contribute $1 billion to the Sunshine State's economy and employ over 12,000 people, more than even baseball spring training. To learn more about the horse capital of the world or to join the membership of the FTBOA, the Florida Thoroughbred Breeders and Owners Association, please check out ftboa.com.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
right, 5 minutes before 10 o'clock. Tammy Gantt is here. This is Horse Sense with the Equine Alliance of Marion County, and I guess you're the only one here from the Alliance today.
Everybody else is having a good time on Breeders' Cup Day. I know. They're picking their winners there. They're eating candy and picking winners, I'm sure. So I know the last gentleman that called, I did want to mention, because I think he wanted to know the Florida breds that were in the Breeders' Cup. And so at this point, with no scratches, I believe we've got Quality Road, Tight End Touchdown, Bahamian Squall, Paranda, Calculator, Lucky Player, and Big John B. And there are others with connections too, like Little Alexis, who is owned by Priscilla Vacaresa, who had the Florida bred Horse of the Year, Little Mike, a couple years ago. They like to name the horses after their kids. So they had Little Mike, Little Nick, and then Little Alexis is in this race tomorrow. So a lot of neat connections with some of the horses that are going into the races.
So this is something that's been going on since June or something? Is that right? The Breeders' Cup? I'm confused how this works.
Very good question. It actually started in 1984, the concept of the Breeders' Cup. And so I'm actually wearing my shirt that's over 20 years old, my sweatshirt. I wear it in honor of Breeders' Cup. And I got this at my first Breeders' Cup in Santa Anita over 20 years ago. However, the Breeders' Cup pretty much is horses that are competing at the top levels all year long. So it really starts all year. However, you'll see horses as late as June and July. In August, you'll start seeing what's called the Win and You're In Challenge. And the horse has to win this race, and then he gets in the Breeders' Cup. So maybe he wasn't nominated when he was younger for various reasons, and so this is his way to still get into the big day. And so they have what's called the Win and You're In Challenge, and actually a horse from Chile, that's how that horse got in. He won a major race down in Chile, and so now that horse is in. And so what they've done is they make sure all over the world that horses that are competing at high levels, maybe that weren't looked to be that when they were young, now have a chance to be here in this national day of racing.
So you get to go to all these places? I mean, do you go to Chile and all the different... Are you a world traveler?
You know what? Personally, I love to travel, and I find on my own personal vacations, I end up in a lot of places where there are race tracks, farms, and breeders. However, for the Breed Association and for the state of Florida, there's a lot of effort put in looking for emerging markets for places to sell Florida breds and to grow the marketplace. So places like Japan would be one of those, and Argentina would be one. And so what happens is usually a state trip will be put together, and people can go and talk to those breeders, encourage them, or those buyers, potential owners, to look at that. We have members that have connections in Italy that do the same. They take people over informally to meet buyers. The buyers come over here and buy horses from the sales. And so you see the marketplace grow. In fact, in Japan, there was a horse that was the champion 3-year-old last year in Japan that was born at Ocala Stud here in Ocala. They also have the former Horse of the Year over there that was raised in Florida, Musical Romance. She is over in Japan, and just a couple days ago it was announced, which is pretty amazing, there was a horse named Silver Charm, a really famous horse that won the Kentucky Derby, and he was in Japan, and he's now coming back. He retired, and he gets to come back, and he's going to be at a retirement farm where people can come and visit him. So not only do horses go there, but they also come back from these various countries.
You've opened up a whole world that's in our own backyard by doing this show, because suddenly we're all realizing that we can tour these farms, and maybe you heard about them, or maybe you thought it was only a now and then thing, but I mean, we've learned so much. Last week when you had the young lady was in here that does the carriage rides, that was fascinating to hear that you can take a carriage ride on some of these farms.
Let me tell you, her carriage ride is amazing because you're in this open air setting, you're going down these country roads, and it's amazing because the areas she goes, there's just so many different breeds of horses. And that's why we're called the horse capital of the world here in Ocala, Marion County, because we have more horses and ponies than any other county in the United States. And what's interesting is I just heard a new statistic, and we're about to unveil our economic impact study, but what we do know is that horses outnumber people in this county 2-to-1. So we better watch out if the horses decide to gang up on us.
Goodness.
But what Kimmy does is takes the horse country carriage tours, and it's just fascinating to do that and learn all the history that she knows, but also these interesting stories about like these horse personalities.
Yeah, and you're the same way, Tammy. Obviously very knowledgeable about the horse industry. Everybody that comes in in here for this show is. Real quickly, we're almost out of time. The best way to get information is with your Facebook page?
Yeah, I think for the Breeders' Cup, you can go to breederscup.com. Also, lots of stories of local interest at ftboa.com, or stop by a newsstand. Wire to Wire will be available on newsstands at the Kangaroos and all around the county, or even go over to the racetrack and pick yourself up a daily racing form. And our office has extra copies too, so swing by, get you something like that. They've got lots of great information at breederscup.com on the internet, and again, ftboa.com. We're posting stories, 4 to 6 stories every little bit you're going to see. So good stuff.
Wow, thank you. It is good stuff. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Are you trick-or-treating today or no?
My horses are. Apparently, my horse and my miniature horse, one's going to be a devil and one's going to be an angel, which is true to their personalities. But I don't know what my donkey's going to be. He already looks like he's Shrek, so I think he's going to just be the movie donkey.
All right. Well, thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Or we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA. Broadcasting.
Pete's Parrot Emporium.
Pete? Pete!
How may I help you?
Help! Help! Help!
Be quiet.
Quiet! Quiet! Quiet!
Silence.
Silence! Silence!
If only